everybody. Good afternoon. I want to begin by talking to you a little bit about what series that we're going to be watching for the next 1, 2, 3, 4 to 5 days, which is going to be Nova. We're going to be watching one episode of Nova on each of those days. So how many of you know what Nova is? Can somebody tell me? Yes. Yeah, it is a series on PBS where it has all kinds of episodes on all the different concepts and areas of science. There was the human-made. There was the earth nature. And there is space in the universe. And it's not as general as that. There's probably a lot of other, groups of episodes. So, we're going to be watching a series for the next 5 days on the planets. And not every planet. Only the planets of Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and another episode on back to the moon. So those are going to be all of the episodes. And it's really, really sad that they don't have anything for Uranus or Neptune or, Venus and Mercury. Did you know that both Venus and Mercury are closer to the sun in the other direction? Who knew that there were 2 planets in the other direction from Earth, closer to the sun? Let's investigate. That is definitely a trivial fact that can be taken away from today. Now, we're going to be learning about the planets and about their history and their beginnings and their, how they, got to where they are today and what the weather is like, what the structure is like. Probably the most unique planet is Saturn, which we know it as having the rings around Saturn, if you know what I mean. So some really, really important things to know already is that this would have been a very, very different planet, say, 4 trillion years ago when, the dinosaurs were on the planet, and at that time, Earth's surface was not constructed enough yet so that if a meteorite were to hit the Earth, then it would dissolve and be destroyed, and it would, we wouldn't even know about it. Because there was all those asteroids flying around through space. And just imagine what we would have to do. If all you remember reading City of Ember, remember reading that series? The Embody series? Okay, so you remember. Well, what happened was Earth's surface, after, billions upon gazillions of years, it was destroyed. And in order to protect the citizens, because if the surface is destroyed, that means a meteorite can come flying from outer space and, go into Earth and hit and, destruct Earth. If you were to land on a planet besides the moon, then, and maybe Pluto as well, then you would likely go into its atmosphere. It's kind of abstract thinking to think about that. This place that you're living in is a planet, and the infinite space with infinite, universes and galaxies, and it is just immense. So I wonder if we will go past that big circle, which is our universe, and into other universes to see if there's another planet that has life. But that, space explorations need a lot of patience and a lot of planning over years and years and things, because it is unlike, everything else. It really is. So, and, we're driven, to understand and investigate science. And science is really, the answers to, the universe and everything. So it is bigger than math, because math is a science and it is directly linked to it. But, I'd say science is much bigger and much more than math, because, math is just part of that thing, as I said. So, anyway, so all the planets, which we're going to be looking forward to watching, the images and the graphics and the narrator, all of it is done very, very well. It's just amazing. So, that is something that we can look forward to. Does anybody have any questions about anything going on with Libra season and the book that we're reading and anything? Well, I have not been keeping up with those. I said that I was, and I'm not. I'm just not doing the horoscopes. So, yeah, I don't know. So, does anybody else have any questions that they'd like to ask? Burning questions? Well, that is a very, very difficult question for me to answer. But I want to make an announcement that you will all be taking pink. And we will not be continuing to reading that. With all of the things that I am doing, because I am very, very busy, and with the book, Fahrenheit, I gave it a try, and I knew that it would, I would be a snail, and I would just not enjoy reading it as we were going through. Because I found it very, very difficult to get into, something that I felt that I couldn't just turn to. And yeah, so What's done is done. I do not want to hear any questions or comments about it because that happened. I made an executive decision, and we're moving on to something else. Does that sound good to everybody? Because you could really, I mean, really tick me off and make me feel so bad and just so guilty. Now, if you all care about me and are loyal to me, then, health is a very, very versatile word. It has definitely been something that has been playing on my mind and something that I have been a little obsessed with recently. And I will not have any of you, by simply coming to me and talking about it, drive me into bad mental health. I do not need it. I do not want it. You can forget all that we have done with it, because all of that is meaningless. All of it is meaningless. So, anyways, excuse me for one moment. I would suggest that if you want my opinion, go into a computerized, scientific, or calculus field into discussion with this. Or better yet, listen to Jeff Henshaw. He has some very, very valuable astrological information. And I'm sure that you'll feel the resentment. Now, everybody, I need you to listen and look. Give you full attention. Now, if you didn't see the horoscope already, then I would highly recommend that you see it. The moon is in Aries. So it is the full moon. And I have not done it, but I want you all to go and read Deborah Silverman's article on the full moon, Libra and Aries. So when somebody says that they were born during the full moon, and they tell you the date, and you go look it up on a chart, and the sun and the moon are not in the opposite signs, that tells you that that person does not know what he or she is talking about. Because the full moon strictly means the sun and the moon are opposite. the new moon, which is the dark sky, is when the sun and the moon are in the same sign. Now I'm going to get rid of all of this because I want to talk about Libra Clubus. It is high time. I know that you have all been asking me, but now we need to get into it. So we're going to buzz through the introduction, talk about the main fundamental concepts of what we need to for those who are signed up for Libra Clubus, and we'll be doing a lot of activities concerning all of what we learn about, study about, and there will be a couple project options based off of the Libran themes. Now, I, at this point, want all who are not in Libra Clubus to exit the room, please. Thank you. just wait a second. I'm writing a couple of things up on the board and then we'll get started. Now, the introduction, I'm not really going to be reading to you because I think that that's more for all the other categories. So in future, with any astrological clubs, the introduction will be at the board and discussed, and we'll also be doing several activities to go along with all of the content in the introduction. By the way, you need to read the introduction before you get into all the other stuff because that has the, most valuable information that will, be the root of, all the life stages. Okay. Now, yes, he will be coming on Monday. Should be here on the 5th, so that would be a day before my birthday. My half birthday. So, we're all going to be doing something to celebrate that, which will be really, really fun, exciting. And I hope you're all looking forward to it. Okay. So, Libra season, I have this Scales Delight that already answers one of the, we obviously know the symbol of Libra is the balance scales. So, thriving time is the time when the sun is in a sign that someone born during that sign has. So the Scales Delight, obviously, luxuriating and, deeply enjoying and loving this time of year and what it has to offer. I guess that you could say. But there's a lot of, things to talk about this, and all of that encompasses the Libran themes. And I'm going to be writing down all of the themes of Libra, which are going to be, first of all, balance, harmony, grace, beauty. Let's see here. Harmony, grace, beauty, peace, fairness, just, I'll put aesthetic, let's see, socialite, in relationships. So, these are all of the themes that we're going to be exploring. There might be times where I might be doing the same thing, and I might call something out to somebody, like, you need to, give me, an answer for something to add to this, word or, a phrase or a definition or, whatever. So, these are all of the themes to remember. So, obviously, balance, things being balanced, going along with fairness and equality and peace. And then there is grace, moving very smoothly and, fluidly and, civilized and nicely and, collectively and cool through something. Beauty, which is very, very versatile. Libra is all about its art. So it's all about, the aesthetic going along with that. So that could be anything from nature, art, dancing, singing, fashion, jewelry, poetry, novels, fiction, books, all those things. So, that's where we're talking about beauty, and also Librans have really, really good tastes for how things color coordinate. So these are all the themes that we're exploring during this Libra season, all the lessons it has to teach. Now, the only low road, since this sign only has one low road because it is such a, wonderful sign. Now, Scorpio, we're definitely going to separate the low roads from the high roads, and, we're going to be taking Scorpios, which are actually going to be coming in here, and we're going to be filling out a fake Scorpio safety contract, not to offend anybody, but I have a reason for that. People who are Scorpios from various dimensions that take the low roads, and people who take the high roads and what they can teach each other, and really differentiating those, because the sign is the most complex, most misunderstood, and that is the sign that gets the worst rep. Now, Capricorn is a great, great sign. There is some low roads with being pessimistic about things, too practical and, cold and negative about situations. However, the high roads override the low roads for that sign, and I think that, could all teach us something. Although I will say that Taurus and Virgo could teach the exact same lessons. Let me tell you again that every single sign is practical in their own way. Practical, whatever whatever the sign is, whatever about the sign. There's no competition between which signs are more practical than others, because I think that you have a narrow vision of what practical is. Now, practical isn't just earth, although the elements are separate, the signs are intertwined between one another. You'll find similarities. And so, you're saying Pisces, so that's not a practical sign. Well, practical can have many meanings. And practical also has to do with all the other elements, because it is not practical only to just be practical. It is practical to have a good balance, Libra, all the other things, and to, evolve through those things, and to have them, bring, harmony and peace into our lives. So that is what is practical. And that's pure truth. And Libra, I would say, is the water and earth to the air, since it's very logistical, and grounded, and also emotional, some could say. Okay. So, I'm going to go over a couple things, and then we're going to be coming back a little bit later and resuming all of these things. Okay? So, all of the content that we're going to be getting into, talking about the Libra season and Libra weather. That's what we're going to be doing later this afternoon. Is we're going to be going outside and doing a scavenger hunt to explore the weather and Libra season to be able to understand that. The origins and mythology of Libra. So we're going to talk about, a lot about Greek mythology and Aphrodite and all those things. The ruling planet of Libra. Venus, obviously we know, modality, cardinal ale, symbol, the scales. The element, ale, but also earth and water. Polarity. We're going to be talking about the polarity between Aries and Libra. So it's opposite sign. That's what polarity means. If you read in the book, it says a positive or negative polarity. I don't really, that's not accurate. There is a masculine and a feminine and a yin and a yang. And I don't think that the author was very educated and mindful in that while she was writing the book. Masculine signs are the fire and the air signs. Feminine signs are the earth and the water. Although, additionally, masculine signs are the earth and the fire, and feminine signs are the water and the air. So positive, negative, positive, air and fire, negative, water and earth. So mud energy. And all the life areas. So as a child, as a parent, in relationship, in the workforce, in La Escuela, in daily life, all those things. So, all of the projects, you don't have to do all three of these. I'm going to be giving you the option to choose